Hey guys, what's up? My name's the Cool Mike and welcome back with another episode of Stanley Parable. But this is now the Stanley Parable 2, which technically the last episode is the narrator introduces us to Stanley Parable 2 with an amazing intro. So now we have this slider. Barely visible. Confirm. Please adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Okay. Please adjust slider until number 5 becomes the number 9. Please adjust the slider until number 5 becomes number 9. I wonder. 9. I kind of want to do this, but let's follow him because why not? Let's adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Okay. Which of the two made up words below is mostly appealing to you? Scrumptious. Sure, scrumptious. I don't even know if that's a word. Please don't adjust the slider. I kind of want to adjust it. You know what? I'm gonna follow it. Sure. Do you know what time is it right now? It's technically around 7:40 a.m. in the morning. Sure. Is it time that... Yes. It's the correct time. What is it? What is time anyway? Yes. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? A lot. Help. Yes. Will you come back to visit me? Sure. And here we go. Stanley Parable 2. Let me just... Okay. Begin the game.
This is the story of a man named...
Okay, let's skip that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting today. Is the meeting in the meeting room? Okay. We also got the secret guy.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Okay. So we last episode I believe we got the the button, the mind control device.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Left. So we're still gonna follow the left side. Trust the completionist instinct. We already read that. I already done that closet thing. Alright, so I'm
Turning
gonna
to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
try to go down. Although, you know what? Let's try to go down first. There's one.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Okay. So that's 4 out of 6.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Oh, God.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
I am the bucket.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh, God. And that was that ending. So we still had the other ending that...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Every time I do this, it keeps restarting. So I cannot complete that for some reason. I'm not sure if that's an achievement. But we're gonna go upstairs and try the elevator.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We're gonna try the elevator because we already did the... Okay. So we already did that.
Into a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay. This time we're gonna try the elevator. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss flosses, then that's what the boss chose. Okay.
All of his co-workers
Okay.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Okay, so...
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, so we can unlock the elevator scene.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay, so I kind of wanna... I'm not sure how. Oh, it's not it's a different elevator. Okay, so it's not this elevator. So it's a different elevator. So we already done that. Can we... Nope. Alright. We're gonna begin again. So it's a different elevator.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Okay. So, I think we've done everything on the right.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
To his cheek? You mean butt cheeks? Okay, so we're gonna try this time going. We have done the left, we've done the mind control, we've done the up downstairs, we've done the upstairs, the elevator. Yep, we're going this time to the right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, we're going to the right this time.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Okay.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Okay.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Huh, okay, I kinda wanna... Let's see, how long have I been... we still have... Okay. We still have a few moments, so... What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get...
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I wonder if this is the elevator that... You know what? Let's try to see this first.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh God. We care for you, Stanley.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Oh, this is a new one. I don't remember this from the other game.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh God, not this again.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
The bucket. I assume the bucket. Oh, this is a deep staircase.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No! I refuse!
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I think we... Oh god, we're in bucket heaven?
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For a moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh god. Okay. This time we're gonna try to see if we can destroy the bucket. I think that's a different ending for that. Oh, what? Oh, this is new. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Welcome to the whiteboard ending. Dog mode. Oh, that's funny. Oh, it's a whiteboard ending?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did it advance the story in any way. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer.
Wait. Oh god, it's still shaking. I cannot let go of the bucket no matter what I do. Can you destroy the bucket in the Bucket Destroyer? That's what I want to know. Yeah, you cannot. Eventually. It says here, the water explodes and floats. Okay. Begin the game again. So technically you can't. But I'm probably gonna end it there. I'm gonna edit here. Hope you guys enjoy this episode part of Stanley Parable 2. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe now if you haven't. And as always, I will see you guys next time with another brand new video. This is the Cool Mike signing off. Goodbye.